Animal control's not here.
Yeah.
You, Steve, have anything to report on animal control?
Yeah, I was out there to talk to them, and they're trying to comply with the request from the jail about improving their access to everything and try to rework their whole layout, way they're doing things. And of course, Sarah's still off. She's due any day now to go, and everything else is moving along pretty good, she said. So
Do you ask anything about that dog bite?
I forgot. I was going. Yeah, no, I forgot. Didn't ask you.
They do still go out on a dog bite, don't they, Judge?
Any kind of vicious animal call, I think, is still one of their.
She was under the impression that they didn't have to go out after hours for anything. Who was it? Okay.
Heard that. I mean, I
don't
thought
think
that
we
that was
told
one of
Rita
their
that.
primary, they kind of eliminated it back to vicious animal calls. If it's not an emergency, they don't need to go out, but
With
it's
a
something
dog, this was
Yeah,
a dog bite, maybe not.
I've always been consistent in the fact that if it's a vicious, as Judge said, vicious animal, or that you go out no matter when it is. So,
Right.
Yeah.
we reinforce that. But,
Of course, we might need to reinforce a dog bite. Depends on who determines if it's a vicious dog, because some dogs bite you, they're not vicious, but if it's a dog bite, they probably need to go see if they got their shots, and if not, that'd be quarantine and such stuff as that. But I
talked to them about of course, they're doing it this week, maybe it's tonight, over at Washington County. They've got a low cost, or I guess we've done it here too, a rabies vaccination plan.
we've done it in the past.
We haven't done that for a while. Of course, they said even the one over there, out of county, dogs could come to that for $5. It's $3 for Washington County only, so I don't know if anybody here locally is taking our animals across the county line or not, but it'd be a good opportunity since we're not doing it
I had
ourselves.
some people ask me about the rabies clinic, because I have one or not. I told them I wasn't sure what I was gonna do on that.
Yeah, Dr. St. Germain used to do that for the clinic pretty regular, but I don't know that we've done it for a couple of years anyway.
Been a while.
It's like we had a reduced
Maybe talk to you
reduced
about that.
price spay and neuter portable clinic come in, and they
Yeah.
scheduled them, and we're looking into that too, so. It pretty much completes the committee reports then.
I'll try to follow up with her on that dog bite, because I did forget to mention that a while ago.
About that
You
rabies
need to
clinic too.
reinforce that that's a top priority issue, that we need to make sure we follow up on any kind of a vicious animal report.
Yeah. Or like I said, if it's just a dog bite, they need to verify they've had their shots or tags or
Right.
all that.
Quarantine issues or whatever needs to be done. I guess we'll skip over payment of bills for a second. We have a couple people here that might ask, Kenny, Tom, y'all have something y'all wanted to address the court about today? Not on the agenda per se, but.
No, I know I'm not on the agenda, but
All right.
in fact, the last time I was here, the consortium was asking for some funds, and of course, Mr. Whitaker asked us to see what happened to the money that was given to the school. I've got bits and pieces of information that they're going to give it back to you, and I don't know how much, there's nothing confirmed how it's going to be handled this time around.
Yeah, I was speaking with him that the school board said they would replenish the funds, but our conversation was, are they gonna, where's it going? It needs to go to the consortium, or
Yeah, it needs to go back.
The state
to
doesn't
y'all.
need to
We don't
get it.
need to come to-
per se.
No, the
Or we
state
need to
don't.
know where it's at, or where it went, or
That's
who's
correct.
got it.
State doesn't get the money, surely.
The consortium is more flexible. We'll keep you completely informed. It's just like the principal out there called me and said, we've got this project we're making, and we've got about this one little tab. He said, it's $35. And that's where they have to buy it. I went online, found a phone for $8. Of course, I have to buy it. He's not allowed to buy it on eBay or anything like that. So we can make the money go a lot further, because we don't have to meet certain guidelines or anything. We can buy it.
Well, I think correct me if
This
I'm wrong, I
was
think,
for machinery.
right, I think the first question is that we have to identify the exact dollar amount.
Yeah.
And then the second one is that when that is replenished, or when that is provided, that needs, I guess, what you're saying, Mr. Merritt, and I think what the court agreed to, it's that then that money goes to the consortium.
I think it would be best.
Yeah.
About the machinery.
We'll find out that the school system
I
prefers
don't know,
those.
we need to ask.
Yeah.
Because we can get more.
I mean, I think it's,
It was supposed to, yeah. it was supposed
Let me,
or-
there's another issue we brought up here a while back in a meeting about possible some other funding.
Yes,
Is this money come back gonna be part of the other funding? Or,
that's your call.
that's what, that's,
What do you mean by?
This money was actually supposed to went for equipment to where if a kid decided not to go to college, they could go to the tech center and learn how to go to any factory and get a job.
the machinery, that's right, we bought, right.
They were supposed to come back every 60 days with invoices.
Yeah.
We never saw them after
What's
2010.
happening right now is the consortium has a lot of needs for.
Fiscal court actually owned
Now,
the
this is going to salaries. It's all
machinery.
equipment and supplies.
It's in the
what my question is, if the money is returned, does it come back to us, the consortium, or this other money we was talking about, is that gonna be in addition? I'm trying to get a hit on this dollar amount here, what I'm working on.
No new agreements.
You know, y'all asked last time,
And
is the city going
if you don't put it in there,
Yeah.
we put
all that equipment is,
We want to see
The
that.
city has increased their franchise fee for KU, and they're going to pay 1/3 of that money
otherwise, we might get
to the tech school ongoing. They can't guarantee what future
That's
contracts will do, but that's,
Yeah, that's,
set the precedence for it. And their estimates on that, it's about 43,000 a year.
Is that going to be channeled through the consortium, or is that going to be channeled through the, well, I think I put it in the budget meeting packet, but I had been assured that the $114,000 that had been subverted by the request to hire Mary Taylor, engineer, various uses, salary and fringe, that money was in fact voted on and replaced by the board, and it was going to be put back into the same original account title that they used for our initial $145,000. We originally gave $150,000, but I think we actually took $3,000 or $4,000 out of it when you did your cabinet project, which was, subverted a little bit of it. But they did use some of it for equipment, but $114,000 was identified that went to salaries and fringe, and that money is going to be restored. The
Let me ask-
request that you and Tom provided and presented at the meeting where you gave the retrofit of equipment and the upgrades and across all the different departments and disciplines up there, probably exceeded $300,000 worth of total needs. And I think it was probably the discussion in the budget was that $114,000 should be prioritized by the consortium where it would best fit and meet the needs in the most appropriate manner. Was that kind of what we talked about?
Yes, that is correct. The only thing I will say, and I think the court will agree with this, is that on that 114,000 or whatever it is, the dollars,
It was restored?
the restored dollars, I think we also, the court agrees that that money needs to come back to this court, okay? In other words, show me the money. So we want the money to come back to the court, and then the court can then release the money to the consortium. Would you guys agree to that?
I agree
That
with
was my
that.
question.
Absolutely.
When it gets out of our hands, we don't have a lot of control. So bottom line is, I think we discussed it, we were talking about, we would like to be reimbursed those funds. And then our county treasurer can release those funds as the court and the judge so chooses
We need to.
for the
write it.
consortium. But
Right.
I guess my point is, so we can let the judge know and how he needs to move. Do we all agree on that?
I agree
Yeah,
with,
Not the MOA, don't we?
yeah, we really
Well,
do,
yeah.
because the first one was only for the equipment we'd already purchased, and, we've not seen that, so.
Yeah, I see the money come back home
See, Fiscal
Home
court was
being
actually
court.
supposed to own that equipment if they quit it.
and then go from there, and this
We've
other
not seen none of that equipment.
this other project you got going on, whether we want to take the match the city's 43,000 out of this 114, or I'm trying to get a top dollar here. We're talking about additional, or is it part of that
No,
114?
That's
No.
part of
Okay.
it. It's all part
Yeah,
of
that's
the
what I want to
114.
make sure we was talking about here.
Yeah, we're not talking about the fact is, we're not talking about any additional funds out of our budget. We're talking about the money that we'd already allocated that was,
Just making
that
sure
needs to
they
be
get it.
restored.
Right.
With that being said, then at that point, we'll ask the county attorney to have the consortium members, whatever, to agree to have a MOU in regards to what the money's for, what is to be spent, and basically the accountability. It's taxpayers' money. We got, as you know, we got to be accountable. So that's why we want the money back, so we can get it where it needs to be, okay? The other side of that is that I still think we are owed some information in regards to equipment. Is that correct?
I agree. The
So
machinery, we still have no idea, and that was supposed to come back to the court.
that was part of the original agreement,
Right.
was that, yeah, the court
They will
provided that
bring
funds.
invoices back every 60 days.
Yeah, that's correct, so. And that's not,
We're getting to an immediate need that we're trying to get done before the next school year begins. And so, knowing whether we have this money or not is important.
as soon as you can get the school board to cut us a check, I mean, I think we'd cut a check pretty quick, but,
Okay?
yeah.
That's not my thought.
Well, but you, welcome to go to school board.
Okay. All right, I'll do that. I'll do that, on the agenda for Tuesday.
That was my concern was, they're gonna put the money back, but where are they gonna put it? That was my concern.
Yeah, that's why it needs to come to this
Come back
court. The
here,
court
right.
allocates it. We have an MOU with the consortium. It's all straight. We know who is accountable. We have the accountability. We have control of the funds, and then we're fine.
I think to make it really simple, just show us the money.
And, I will say this, I think that, the board did a good job of going back and following those tracks and getting that figure. So, let me say this, the board did step up and do what they were supposed to do, so they need to, I appreciate
Yeah, I do
that.
appreciate that myself.
So is somebody from the court going to contact them?
It'd be a formal request, I guess, on behalf of the court. Probably takes a motion to request that money come back to the court.
Motion to
Second.
request the Board of Education to provide the Marion County Fiscal Court with the amount that needs to be
Reimbursement.
Reimbursed.
funding
Second.
reimbursement.
Thank you, Mr. Merritt.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers? Mr. Baker?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes,
Unanimous.
Does that mean that once this is all done and so forth too, you'll kind of, stay out of the hair of everybody and everything? Okay, I just wanted, make sure. Okay, I appreciate that.
The language is in the original
Think about it.
MOU, and if it was restored to that original account and the language was appropriate to start with, I guess it maybe should have been tweaked to allow that it only be spent at the request of the consortium, if that's where we're actually ultimately going to put it anyway. In other words, it probably could have stayed in their coffers if it were directed according to our needs or wishes. But anyway, we'll redirect and request and see how that goes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kenny.
thank you, Kenny and Mr. Lund.
Another related note, it's not on the agenda, but it did happen this week. The CDBG money was received this week on the 30th or 31st. We did meet and close on the Marion County Association for the Handicapped Property. That property is now in the hands of Marion County Fiscal Court, and lease agreement is in the process of being signed, and property's being prepared for occupancy by the Association for the Handicapped. So
Awesome.
it's a great project, and everybody's worked hard to get there. It's taken a long time.
I'd like to thank Mr. Merritt for his patience and the assistance there. It was, that's going to serve the Marion County Handicap Association for 50 years down the road.
Right.
So.
Worthy cause.
Judge, on this budget transfer,
We'll do that with the bills, I guess. That's okay.
that's fine.
We'll skip on down to the old business, new business. Y'all have a handout that's from the state transportation folks. Basically, they've got the 20-year road plan, or the state, what they call the statewide long-range transportation plan for public review and comment. They have a website where you can go on and look at that and see what projects Marion County's got in the unscheduled needs list and on the 6-year road plan. And anything to do with Marion County is listed on that website. And according to the MAP 21 language, but it's just an opportunity for the next few weeks to make any comments before they put the final draft together. So it's an opportunity for anybody that wants to go in and use the Your Turn Transportation Survey. That's just for information. Item 10B may or may not even be necessary. We at our special meeting approved the option right-of-way agreement for the state-funded project we're working on for the county road improvement. We approved those options. Those options were signed. We did not have full, I guess, numbers in there for down payment, and just need a motion to approve the down payment amount according to the options that was signed.
Motion to approve the down payment.
Second.
And those are good through August 1st until the state agreement comes through and we transact those options completely.
That's correct.
Mr. Masterson,
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell,
Yes.
Mr. Elder,
Yes.
Mr. Wicker,
Yes.
Mr. Smothers.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Item C, went to a meeting last night at Lincoln Trail Ad for the Special Purpose Governmental Entity Training. We had one fire department show up. There were about 30 in the room from all the different counties, but Gravel Switch actually, I guess Joe Kent Shoemaker was there representing Gravel Switch and figuring out how to enter all that information on the template, on the dashboard, and all the things to do with the Auditor of Public Accounts new House Bill 1 website dealing with reporting of special districts, which fire departments do fall under. They'll be, in our case, all in the lower price category, under $100,000 a year in revenue, so it costs them $25 a year. Anybody in the next category, 100 to 250, is going to cost them $250 a year. Anybody over $500,000 costs them $500 a year. Went to another budget meeting today with the Lincoln Trail Ad District, who also falls under a special district, and they've got that same reporting requirement. Of course, they're a $10 million a year entity through the Lincoln Trail Ad. But they did want to remind everybody that knows anybody with the fire department that they are, in fact, obligated to register on the SPGE website, or they will be found in non-compliance, and they'll advertise that in the paper that they're in non-compliance, and their chairman and fire chief and board of directors and everybody's name will be listed in the paper, and they're going to use the shame game on them, they say. So, it's just part of this new process that all special districts, including water companies, soil conservation districts, airport boards, health departments, everybody, libraries are all special districts.
You know, one thing about that, and I understand why the state moved forward on this, but with that being said, I still don't understand why they're entities. I can understand any entity that has a revenue, a generation of revenue. I can understand a fee, okay? But when you're talking about the volunteer fire departments, I mean, here are these guys now, I got to come
Not
up.
even a fire district or taxing district.
No, that's right. That's
They're
yeah.
still receiving public funds.
Yeah. Well, thank God for Frankfurt. That's all I want to say. Thank God for Frankfurt.
Just encourage them to go ahead and
Yeah,
check in
we
on the
will.
website and
As
try
a
to
matter
get
of
in
fact, Judge,
compliance.
I want to get Master Smothers because we'd like to have a Emergency Services Committee meeting. So next week, if you can let.
Okay, me and you hook up? And
Yeah,
good?
sounds
Is that
good.
good?
Yeah,
And
that
Janice
sounds
Ross
good.
will work with
Wait a
any
minute,
of them to
next
try to
week,
make sure that they
next
get
week,
their
the
reports in
following
and
week.
get
Sorry.
in good shape, good
Okay.
standing on that reporting process.
Sounds good.
Keys, if they need a little help, Janice Ross is standing ready to help them navigate that process and get them in compliance.
Go over that. And also, Chief Magley and a few other chiefs attended the ISO class in Bowling Green, so they're going to give us an update on that and what some of our departments can do to help lower our insurance ratings out in some of the areas of the county, which has become critical. So.
Very critical. Judge, they have to register by a certain for the special, is there a?
They were supposed to register by, let's see, they had this good 30-page handout they went through yesterday, and there's about 7 different categories of enterprise and non-enterprise, and they have, of course, fire departments fall under their own category, really. I think they were supposed to have done it by March 31st, actually. I think there was an initial registration period, and they're supposed to have their budgets on there within 60 days of the start of the fiscal year.
Okay.
So
You said
they've
Joe
got a little
Kent-
window. By August 1st, they're supposed to have all their data entered.
You say Joe Kent was there?
Joe Kent was there, yeah. Made his head spin, and he's a pretty good financial guy.
Yeah. Gosh.
And everybody was shaking their head, it was, why? You know. But anyway, we'll manage and we'll navigate it. Okay, if y'all are ready, we'll go back to the review the payment of the bills. Any additions, corrections? We do have the additional transfer that, we have a separate motion on that.
What about the body bags? Is that figure?
Corner,
I thought it run about 1,000.
I thought he,
Is that about standard for the year?
Yeah, he puts them all together and sometimes he's waited past June 30th. I always try to remind him to get them as they occur.
he got
but,
some though just 3 months ago.
that item
He just got some 3 months ago.
accumulates. And it may also be some trips to take bodies to the medical examiner's office as well.
Yeah.
A little bit of reimbursement there.
Oh, wait there, huh?
It just seems like a big number.
It is a big number.
I mean,
Didn't he, hey Kevin,
you can't use
didn't he
coffee,
get some 3 months ago?
coffee sack.
Didn't he get some 3 months ago?
3,000.
Okay.
Last time, I believe.
oh, yeah. That number looks good now. That's just a lot of,
It was about that last time, I believe, wasn't it?
yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's,
Yeah, and annually it accumulates up throughout the whole year.
yeah,
it changed much.
that's quite a few. Motion to approve the bills with any additions. I'm not talking about the transfer.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
I see what he
Approve
is.
the budget transfer.
Motion and second to approve the budget transfer.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Unanimous.
See what it is.
Well, had a request I think you wanted to bring up.
He didn't.
I'd like to donate $1,000 from my community projects fund to the High School Football Boosters Club Incorporated. It's they're reestablishing the Boosters Club, and it's things have been let go, and they're getting everything back in order. And they've got some fundraisers, and they've got some things they're going to be doing to take care of everything else. But this is to get them back on board for $1,000.
Motion to allow Mr. Coyle to do that.
Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
I want to donate the balance of my community projects money to the city of Brownsville, earmarked for the Performing Arts Center. $634.47.
Motion.
Got some work I got to do up there.
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
I'd like to have $2,500 go to the Marion County Crusade for Children. Remind everybody that the Crusade for Children is, they'll be out on the roadblocks this weekend. All the fire departments will be out across the county. One thing you need to remember is that 100% plus of the money they collect comes back to Marion County, 100% plus. So if you see them out, throw a coin or two in there. So
I'd like to,
I got wet yesterday with the
I'd like to also donate $500 toward that cause to the Crusade for Children.
Took one of them showers yesterday.
I would like to donate the balance of my money to the Florida Fire Department for the same cause. You tell me. I think $7.91.
$7.
37 cents.
I believe $7.91.
I'm sorry, did I hear that right?
No.
$7.31?
No, $7 something.
Oh, okay, I was making sure.
If it's gonna be that, I'd give 3 more, make it 10.
Yeah, round it up, throw in 3.
I would also like to take $500 to the Raywick Fire Department for the same cause.
And I want to add to that $1,500 to the Marion County Head Start. They've got a new program and they're expanding, so gives excellent education opportunity.
Is that the one?
That's all, yeah,
They're down here.
yeah, Pam Smith,
In addition to the 2,500.
yes.
Okay.
It's
start?
all in the same motion.
Okay.
Anything else?
We got a motion and a second
Motion
on
here,
that?
just need a second.
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 Oh, excuse me.
Can I bring up something real quick, Judge? With the recent rain, with the spring rains we're having, and we've had some issues with the windows on this side of the building. I don't know if it's affecting anywhere else, but we've got some leaks around those windows. And I know Mike's worked on them somewhat, and I'm not sure if he's gonna be able to do any more than what he's able to at this point. Maybe we can get I don't know, some of the people that may be involved in the construction of the building, either come back and look at the windows. They're under warranty still, I don't know. But we're still getting a lot of water in certain areas around these windows.
Is it Corsair Square, is it leaking through the caulking area?
It looks to me at the top of one of the windows on the wall on that side of our office, that it's running directly down from the top of the window. So I don't know if there's a drainage issue above that area, or it's just blowing in, or what. But every time we get a significant rain, we're getting water in there. And of course, over time, that's going to be problems inside of there.
Well, let me say, it's a thought process might be to have Mr. Short headed up since he's maintenance. But not only do the windows need to be looked at in this facility, because, you know, at times you can stand beside them, you can feel the air coming through there. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Well, we had an issue with that for some time. That's a lot better than it was, and they went in and did some sealing there. But still, I agree with you, there are some issues there, and even around some of the doors when we get some rain.
Well,
it's coming in at the base.
Yeah, that's my point, is that I would think Mr. Short would go around and make points of these and see about getting them corrected. I mean, he is a maintenance man. That is his responsibility.
Well, I think he's made an effort to, but again, I'm not sure if he's limited out
Well,
as what he could do.
Yeah, there's other issues too, though. I've noticed the stone around the building and so forth. There's just a lot of different, in other words, an audit of this facility in regards to some of the maintenance issues.
Make a
and
list.
repair. That's right. And let's get them addressed and repaired. Taxpayers have a lot of money in this building, so it'd be nice to keep it up, so, yeah.
Some of the sandstone, I don't know, the bases have cracked, there's issues with, I know it was replaced a couple times in the process of being built, but some of that stonework and the tuck point is probably gonna need to be done around some of the brick joints around.
Well, I guess my only point is if you
Needs a
get,
thorough evaluation.
yeah, if you can get Mr. Short to do an evaluation of the building, write down a list, bring it to the court, and we can resolve the issues the sheriff as well as others have. But I think that's something that has been done.
We gotta maintain the building.
Right.
We also got a motion and a second on the floor. Need a vote?
Mr. Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
And Mr. Clemens, if it's something that he can't fix, we do need to get some, like you said, maybe an outside source to come in and fix that if he can't do it, you know.
Well, I agree, and just what the judge said, if any of you go out and look at this building very closely, you'll see that there are a lot of maintenance issues. Again, I don't think that Mr. Short can really, I mean, maybe it's outside of his field of expertise, that we need to bring in contractors to fix some of these issues.
Yeah.
Again, if you look very closely, you'll see those.
So Judge, you get with Mr. Short, have him make a list, and we'll address them. Anything else?
One more thing real quick. Hopefully within the next few weeks, I'll have something on the memorial that we're planning outside here. I'd like to let you guys look at it and get an idea of what we're looking at, sign off on it, and if you have any questions about it, we're getting very close to finishing that up. And I'd like to, again, show you something that you can prove.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Anybody have any more business, old, new?
T.
Second.
Caldwell?